Everyone, it's Carrie from Carrie's Wreath Creations. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a bow from wired ribbon. So this style of bow that I'm going to show you has multiple tails that come out both the top and bottom. We're going to use a combination of 1.5 and 2.5 inch ribbon, and you can use this type of bow on a wreath. You could use it on a lantern. You can do a bigger version of it and put it on like a Christmas tree, let's say as like a Christmas tree topper or a mailbox, as an accent on a garland, or really any home decor item. I really do like this style bow because I do find it very versatile. So I do have a couple that are already made, so I can show you sort of where we're going with things. As far as the materials you're going to need, you'll obviously need the selection of ribbon that you want to use, as well as a good sharp pair of scissors and something to finish off your bow. So I'm going to be using pipe cleaners. So I have two bows completed to show you. So the first one is I'm working on fall bows, so I'm showing you fall bows with fall colors here. So this one is it uses 3 different kinds of ribbon. It has a leaf pattern, a plaid, and then an orange. So whenever I choose my ribbons for my bows, I like to try to color coordinate. This plaid, it brings a little bit of, it's probably hard to tell on camera, there's a little bit of a shimmer in it. I think it looks to be like an orange shimmer kind of on the edge, and then sort of a little bit of threading throughout. And then the reason I picked that is because it actually has every color that's in this leaf design, in the orange, just the 2.5 inch orange in the back, just to kind of give our bow some poof from the back. So there's this one that I've already completed, so we're going to make one like that. And then this is just another example. This one I happen to I used 2 different kinds of 2.5 inch ribbon. I used this plaid as well as the orange again. And then I happen to have coordinating colors of basically everything that was in here. So I had the brown, I had the kind of off-white sort of linen color, and the yellow. So there's a few more layers in this one, but as you can see, they're both very good, nice full bows that would look good on a wreath or any of the other things that I mentioned earlier. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to be using an easy bow maker. If you do not have one of these, I highly recommend them. I do not do any bows by hand because I have this great device. There's a place for you to hold your ribbon. We're going to be working with these 2 taller pegs. I have not glued mine in, so sometimes they do get a little bit loose where I have to hammer them back in. They do sort of spread out as you're working, so just be aware of that. I do not use the smaller one, that is to make hair bows, but just so you know the parts of your easy bow maker. So we're going to start with something simple. We're just going to use 3 kinds of ribbon. So I have this fall ribbon with sunflowers, and there is a brown and a red that I'm going to highlight in the rest of the bow. So I have this red, which has kind of a little bit of a texture in it. So just to do a little bit of, just something for a little bit of interest, because then I also have just a flat brown. So both of those colors I pulled out of this is kind of like my ribbon that I'm hoping to sort of showcase. Okay, now there's really no right or wrong way to do your bows. You can start with the 2.5, the 1.5, anything you want to do. I generally start with 2.5 because I feel like it helps the bow stand up and keep its shape when there's something kind of a little bit thicker in the back. There's also 4-inch ribbon. I don't typically use that. So let's get started. So I put my ribbon on the spool holder here, and I'm going to measure out 8 inches. So it might be hard to tell, but on the Easy Bow Maker here, we have 8 inches on either side of the pegs. So right here at the end of the bow maker is the 8-inch mark. So that's how long I'm going to do my tail. If you wanted to do your tail longer than that, you certainly could. Okay. And then I'm going to put this into between the 2 pegs, and I'm going to twist it just like this. Okay. And I am going to have my bow coming, or I'm sorry, my tail, my first tail here is going to come out the bottom. Okay, just like that. All right. Let me move this up a little so it's fully in the camera. Okay. Because as you can see, I forgot to point out on my bows, I do have multiple tails coming out both the top and the bottom on both of them. Okay. So now, depending how big you want your bow to be, I'm going to stick with what I did here. And those were, my first set of loops was 7 inches. So I go to 7 inches. Okay, and I know this is facing the wrong way, but that's because I'm going to make a loop and it'll be facing the right way. The most important thing that you remember is you always need to twist your ribbon before you put it back into the bow maker. Otherwise, your pattern is going to be on the wrong side. Okay, so I'm measuring here 7 inches. Okay, so that's how big I want the loop to be. Okay, and when I get here, it's already in the middle of my my 2 pegs, but make sure we give that a twist. And the better you do at twisting, the better your bow is going to keep its shape. And you know, if you get any weird little wrinkles, take care of those right away too. Okay, so that's 7 inches, and I'm going to pull this kind of so it's laying towards the bottom, just like that. Okay, all right. Now, if you want your bow to be kind of funky and you want, you know, maybe odd numbers of loops on either side, you can, there's really no wrong way to make a bow. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and do another 7-inch loop on this side. So that's 7 inches right here. Okay, here's my ribbon. I'm going to give that a twist. Okay, just like that. And I am going to kind of be doing like an X pattern here. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and just fix this because I don't actually need to twist it this time, and I'll tell you why. So let's put it back in without the twist. Okay, so there's 7 inches. This is going to go up towards the top. Okay, just straighten out any little bubbles and wrinkles you have there. Okay, this should be pretty firmly pinched there in between your the 2 pegs. And then I'm going to go ahead and just measure out another 8-inch tail. Okay, so we're always going to be doing kind of an X pattern on the bow maker. So just like that, and that's going to go up towards the top as well. Okay, so we started here, we went down, we went up diagonally, and then we finished with our tail going up. Okay. I may or may not do another layer of this ribbon. I haven't decided yet, because nice thing about bows, you can make it up as you go along. I'm going to do the red next. Okay. Now, remember where we finished. We finished here, okay? Which means my next tail is going to go just not right over that tail. It's going to go here where this loop is. So the loop that's facing up, that's where I'm going to start the tail, okay? It might not make a whole lot of sense of why that is, but it'll look nice at the end. Okay, so I measure out another 8-inch tail, giving this a good twist, putting it in the bow maker. Okay, some of these ribbons, they don't really have a right or wrong side, so it's kind of, you know, the twisting is not quite as important, but obviously with something like this, it has a very much a right and wrong side. You want to make sure that the twist is just a good habit to get into. So we're going to start there, and our next loop is going to go over this tail that doesn't have a loop. It's just the tail where we finished that ribbon. And we're just going to go in by about a 1/2 inch. So I was doing 7-inch loops. Now I'm going to do a 6.5-inch loop. So again, my Easy Bow Maker has the numbers on it. And I'm going to give this a twist again, even though there's not really a right or wrong side for this ribbon. It's a little bit too long. So 6.5 inches, give that a good twist. Okay. And I want this one to lay up here. So I'm going to kind of already get it to go in that direction. I'll help things later on if you get your loops going the way you want. So now I'm working diagonally. So I'm going to put another loop here. It's going to be a 6.5-inch loop, just like the other one. So there's 6.5 inches. You'll see me I kind of, you know, just, it might be hard to really, until you're doing it yourself. And actually I don't need to twist this time. Sorry, I'm trying to explain and do it at the same time, get into habits. You'll find that you kind of like hold things. Usually my ribbon is already kind of in between the pegs before I twist it. Some people, they definitely twist before they put it in between the 2 pegs. Okay, that's better for 6.5 inches. And I'm not twisting, it's not twisted because I am going to cut another tail right now. Okay, so that's going this direction, and the tail is going to come down this way. So it needs to be 8 inches. So that would be right here. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead and do the brown. Okay, so we're always remembering where we left off. Okay, so we left off, here was my last tail that I did. So the next tail is going to go where the first tail went, so over here. Okay, we're always working in an X pattern. So give it a twist. Again, this one doesn't really have a right or wrong direction, but we'll just continue with our twists anyways. I'm going to go in by another 1/2 inch. So this is going to be 6 inches for my loop. Okay, right about there. Give that a twist. That's going to go down. Okay. 6 inches over here. Okay, and I'm not going to twist. I'm just going to give it a good pinch. Make that go in like that. I'm going to finish my tail going here. Okay. I need needs to be 8 inches. When you have these big spools, I have these 50-yard rolls. Sometimes it's hard to see the numbers on the board, but that's okay. We're gonna actually dovetail and make the ends cute. So that one's probably way too long, but that's okay. We'll fix it at the end. And once you get it on the item that you're displaying it on, you might wanna make adjustments to the length of your tails anyways. So I think what I would really like to do is bring a little bit more of this in. Okay, and the reason it's going to work, I kind of like how I did this. I didn't even plan it like this, but so here's where we finished our last tail. So our next tail is going to go over here, and I already have a loop of this over here. So it's nice to, I'm not going to have two tails of the sunflower on the same sort of, in the same location on the bow. So there's going to be a tail, and then here where there's a tail, there'll be a loop. So we're kind of like getting a good, mix of it since I'm using this ribbon twice with the tails and the loops. So put that there. Okay. Again, we finished here, so we start here. Okay. And I do want this to be another 1/2 inch in. So this is going to be now 5.5 inches. Okay. I hope I have enough of this ribbon now that I'm thinking about it, but I think it should be fine. 5.5 inches. All right, and that's going to go this direction. Okay, and my next, working diagonally here, 5.5 inches. I'm not twisting, I'm just going to give that a good pinch and get that in there so it's laying nice, and that's coming down in this direction here. And it really does help to have good quality ribbon with a good wire in it, because that's going to help your bow keep its shape. Okay, and then another 8-inch tail. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do one last layer, and what I'm going to do, it's gonna be one of these. I'm gonna do the red, since the red is kind of farthest in the back, and just to bring it a little bit farther more towards the front. And I'm just gonna do a single loop, and the single loop kind of helps the bow look finished. It also helps to hide your pipe cleaner. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I finished here. So when you get to the end, it doesn't matter quite as much, but I'm going to just follow the same pattern, my 8-inch tail, give it a twist, and here's where the tail is going to go. It's going to lay right here, and I'm just going to do a single loop. So we left off at 5.5 inches. I could go in by another 1/2 inch, so this can be a 5-inch loop, and then no twist to the ribbon here, just going straight into between the pegs there, and my tail is going to go up right here. Okay, now I've seen some people where they'll make both of these come down. You can do that. I just tend to follow the same pattern that I've been doing. And I'm only doing a single loop because this loop is going to help hide our pipe cleaner. Okay, so that's the end of our ribbon. Now let's go ahead. I'm going to grab a pipe cleaner. You want something that's kind of color coordinated so it doesn't stand out too much. I like to finish them with a pipe cleaner, and then if I'm selling them, I will put a zip tie on as well, so that way if a customer is using the pipe cleaner to attach it to something, they don't accidentally untwist the bow by untwisting this too much. Okay, so I do just sort of find where the center is by sort of folding it in half. And then I'm going to grab all these layers, okay, right out of here, just like this. So there's all the layers of my ribbon right there, okay? I wouldn't recommend doing what I just did, but I managed to hold on to it. So then I take my pipe cleaner and I put it right over the middle, okay, grab it. Now here's where it's really important. Make sure you're twisting the bow. Grab it as tight as you possibly can, okay? So I have a thumb on top. I have 2 fingers right here. Don't just twist this. Sorry, you can't see. The pipe cleaner, that is not going to make your bow nice and tight and poofy. You really want to twist the actual ribbons. So I'm kind of like going under like this, okay? And I'm twisting the bow, not the pipe cleaner. Yes, the pipe cleaner will naturally twist, but I'm twisting the bow. And what you want to see happening, see what's happening? My loops are starting to stand up. That's what you want. That means you have a nice, tight, clean bow, okay? So as soon as you feel like you got that nice and tight, it's twisted enough, now let's start working on making it look nice. So again, this was my center loop, okay? And then I just sort of, I know I want these tails. I have some tails that are going up and some tails that are going to be down, so I try to figure out which direction those all need to be going in. So find where they all belong. okay? And we'll obviously fluff up the loops too. I tend to save that for last. I like to kind of just get my tails going the way I want. And then when you get this on, whatever you're gonna use, whatever your, let's see, where does this one goes down. When you get this on whatever item you're gonna display it on, then you can do a lot more fluffing. But you just want to kind of get just make it so all the layers are visible, really. Kind of move things aside. There's really no right or wrong way to do it, okay? Okay, and you can always pull a little bit in opposite directions to get things going the way you want them to. Just don't keep everything layered on top, because obviously when we had it in the bow maker, we were working in an X shape. And so everything was laying on top of each other. You just want to kind of space things out a little bit more now, okay? Now let's get the ends all cleaned up, okay? So I tend to want, so this was the ribbon in the back. I kind of want that to, if I'm gonna kind of make different length tails, I want this to be the longest, so I'm gonna cut some of these a little bit shorter. All I'm doing is taking my ribbon, I am folding it in half, okay? And I'm gonna cut just a diagonal from the folded part towards the end here. Just like that, and I get my nice V, okay? So then the rest of these tails are just going to be, again, I don't want everything laying all on top of each other. It doesn't need to be perfect. So I just don't want any extra long ones or anything like that. Okay. We kept them all at 8 inches, so they kind of should all be the same length to start with, but then you can kind of vary it however you want it to look. Okay. All right. So those are our bottom tails. I feel like this red one looks a little long. Okay. And now let's do this one. So I know let's see, my very first, here's my very back tail is this one. So let's kind of use that as a guide for how long we want these other ones to be. I know this one's way too long. Probably it's still a little bit too long. Let's cut right about there. And so we're just dovetailing all these ends here to give it a nice finished look. And this should be the last one. Okay. All right. So there is our cute little bow. Okay. And if you feel like, you got, like, let's see, I want something up here. It looks a little bald up there. Just kind of twist it and move things around till you have it the way you want it. Okay. If you have any ribbons that are the same kind of next to each other and you don't want that to be like that, just kind of, again, move things around till you got it the way you want it. So just like that. Okay, so there is our cute little bow. Okay, I will show you one more demonstration, and this one I'm going to go ahead and use 2 kinds of 2.5 inch ribbon, so it'll be a little bit more like this one, and we're going to layer those in the back. So here's the one we just made. I'm going to go ahead and use the red again, and I'm going to use these kinds here. So I have, I bought it like this. It's a flat pack. It's 2.5 inch. It's orange with a little bit of yellow. And then I have this really pretty with some sparkle in it. It's got gourds and pumpkins and little berries. And it has like some gold, looks like gold and like copperish color little glitter in there. And then we're using this plaid. Now, when you're choosing your ribbons, okay, some people would have a heart attack at 2 different patterns happening here, but as long as you're keeping sort of the same color, the same colors, these match exactly. All the same colors in here are in here, kind of like how I did my leaf one. Same idea, okay? So don't be afraid to mix up patterns, okay? I'm gonna put this in the back. It's not anything too special, but I just want to make just, again, something that's going to show you how to do the 2.5 inch. We're going to put both of those in the back. It's typically what I do. So I can't use my spool holder, but I'm still going to measure out an 8 inch tail. Put this in here and give it a twist. Okay, that's good. We're going to go down. It's going down. Make our, this will be kind of a pain, but that's okay. Make our 7 inch loop. Give that a twist, just like that. Okay, 7 inches. And I'm not twisting, okay? Just getting that nice and tight in there. That one's going up, this one's coming down. And my final step here is to do my tail, and that's gonna go up. Okay, just like that. Okay, next we're gonna do this. Okay, so I'm measuring out an 8-inch tail. It's gonna go here. This was my last tail, so this is where my next tail is going. Okay, and again, you can always vary how many loops you do. I actually will do some bows that only have just tails. Like if I have if I'm running out of a ribbon, but I want to get it in there, I'm going 6.5 inches on my loop. I'll just take a strip of it and put it in as one of the layers. Just lay it diagonally across, and that I kind of do two things. I get a little bit of an accent in there if it's something I really want to use, and I also don't waste any ribbon because I can just go ahead and not twisting. Okay, not twisting here. 6.5 inches, but I can not have those. It's a good way to get rid of your ribbon scraps. So I usually don't throw anything out. 8-inch tail. Okay, this is going down. All right, so just like that. Now I'm going to put this one next. We're just going to do one layer of this and one layer of that and be done with this one. Now you might think like, why would I not space this out? Why am I going to put this right on top of the other pattern? Well, the reason why is because we're working, so we have like a loop here. Here's where we finished. Here's a loop. I'm going to put a tail. So when we space out all the layers of our bow, it doesn't really matter if you have two like patterns. Actually, it's kind of what you would want to do. If you have two things that are very similar in color, you want to put them on top of each other, because when you space out your layers of your bow, then it'll kind of be all spaced around as opposed to like layers that are right on top of each other. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does look better when you do it like that. So if you have like two very similar colors, that's what I recommend. So I did my 8-inch tail. I am at, let's see, 6 inches for my loop. This is like getting in my way here. So 6 inches. This one's coming down here. So again, here's a tail, here's a loop. So when I pull the tails, I usually pull the tails down. It's not like this is not going to be hidden by, or this, I should say, won't be hidden by this, and so on. So 6 inches, not twisting this time. And it really does help to use good quality ribbon that has a nice thick wire for shaping. Okay, that's going up there. And I'm gonna do, this already has like a lot of nice color. I'm not gonna worry too much about, I'm introducing a new ribbon. It's only gonna be for the little center loop. That's okay. It's color coordinated, it looks fine. So 8 inches. I did finish here, so my tail is going here. So like that. And then I would be at 5.5 inches. I'm just going to go ahead and keep it my center loop. I'm just going to make it 5. It doesn't really need to be huge. Some people make their center loops kind of on the smaller side. Again, you're just doing that to hide your pipe cleaner. Okay, I did not twist when I put it in here. I'm going to cut an 8-inch tail, which is right here. Okay, have that go down, and that's that bow. So let's go ahead and, again, I think this is the hardest part for most people to master. So I have my pipe cleaner, just finding the middle. Okay, is taking it off the bow maker. That's hard, one of the hard things, and then of course making the bow nice and tight. So I'm grabbing all of this, okay, just like that. You can't see because my arm's in the way, but there's all my layers. Okay, they should all be stacked on top of each other, kind of like a layer cake. Okay, got my pipe cleaner right over the center. I'm pulling it tight, but then I'm gonna go ahead and thumb here, 2 fingers here, and just pull as hard as I can. So I'm really pinching that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just take my hand and go like this underneath, okay? And I'm holding the pipe cleaner, but I'm twisting the bow. I'm not just twisting the pipe cleaner around itself. Okay, you should see your little ribbons start to stand up. Okay, and you see here, I mean, I did twist the pipe cleaner. Whoops, can you see right there? But I was turning the ribbons, and the pipe cleaner kind of just naturally goes with it. Okay, so now let's just space things out a little bit. So let's see, this goes these different directions I want things to be going in. Make sure nothing's hidden. All right, so this comes down. This one goes up, down, that one. Okay. All right, so there is our bow. And again, so you can see how with the way I did this, doing my two patterns layered on top of each other, I kind of have some version of that pattern kind of everywhere in the bow. So it's here, 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 here. So it's nice and spread around as opposed to being kind of on top of each other. So, because as you can see a little bit, I did sort of already pull it, but this naturally wants to lay on top of this. I'm trying not to let it do that. And when I put it on something, make that easier to stop that from happening. But I don't really, I'm okay with the orange in the back being covered. That's why I put it in the back. It's not the most special of the ribbons I'm doing in this bow. Whoops. It's kind of there to help everything else stand up. And so just something to keep in mind when you're choosing your ribbons. Okay, so again, I keep them a little long until I get it on whatever it's going on. All we're doing, again, fold in half, cut from the folded side towards the, diagonally towards the end. Okay, and just to finish this really quickly so I can show you. All right, that is the last one. So here is our cute little bow. Okay, so again, this would be great on a wreath, on a lantern, on mailbox, Christmas tree, a large vase or something like that. You can obviously change the size of the loops and the size of the tails. So yeah, that's today's video. I do have other styles of bows that I make, and we'll be adding more to my YouTube channel, so please feel free to subscribe, and I will have those added. I make some that have a lot less tails, some that are just really full. I do Christmas tree toppers, so be sure to subscribe so you can see those videos in the future. And also check out the description box below, which will have links to my social media. I do go live on Facebook, usually once every 2 weeks generally. I also have Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. And also within that description box, you'll find links to my affiliate shops. So I do have an Amazon affiliate shop where I sell, where Amazon sells tools that I use. I get a very small commission from that. You also see an affiliate link for Unique in the Creek, which I do support them and their wreath making boards. I do a lot of wreaths on those boards, but they do sell ribbon and things like that as well. So thank you for joining me today. I hope this was helpful. Take care, everyone. Bye.